Hi guys, I'm Janika Hanford with HandfordHacks, and today I will be continuing the conversation around the BRRRR method. This is a method for real estate investors, and in the previous videos we've gone over a high-level overview and we've gone over the B in the BRRRR method, which is buy. So today we're going to be focusing on the first R, which is rehab. So my first property, as you've known in the previous video, is a townhouse in Pineville, North Carolina. Now, it used to be my primary residence, and then after I got pregnant with my first child, we moved and then converted that property into a rental property. Now, some of the rehab work that we did after we moved out was we replaced the carpet with hardwood floors. And we also used to have like bold colors such as dark burgundy and a light forest green color. Well, we had painters to come in that painted not only the ceilings, but painted all of the walls in the entire townhouse to a very neutral color called agreeable gray. Now, agreeable gray is just one of those trendy neutral colors that we've used in all of our properties. And so that's really all of the main stuff that we did. And of course, we had a cleaning crew to come in to do a deep dive cleaning. Now, one of the things in terms of doing rehab that I rarely hear people talk about is understanding the difference between rehab, or not rehab, but repairs or maintenance versus improvements, because those two things look entirely different in terms of taxes. So I do my household taxes, and each year I am always reading the IRS publications, understanding the instructions for these forms, filling out the worksheets to make sure I really understand like how all of these taxes work. And so as a part of that, understanding real estate and these rental properties, any big improvement that adds value to your property, those are things that get depreciated over years. You don't just have a kitchen get renovated and then you take out that full cost that you paid and count that as a deduction. That's not how that works. Deductions is where you have maintenance repairs. If you're fixing something or something's broke or there's a crack in the foundation or your air conditioning unit isn't working and you need a repair, those are things that count as an expense towards the rental property that you can deduct. Improvements are usually your big expensive items. There is, like, if you want to replace the roof, if you wanted to renovate the whole entire kitchen, adding new flooring, which is what I did. I swapped out carpet for hardwood floors. Painting usually counts as maintenance repairs, especially if it's just a touch up between tenants. But since the painting I did was a huge overhaul, painted top to bottom, that counted as an improvement because it went from, its current state to the new state. Anything in between now is just regular touch-up paint. So those are things that count as an improvement. Now, one thing that I want to mention is that in the description of this video, I will make sure to include the link to the IRS publication that walks you through all of this. It gives you examples. It tells you how you should depreciate over time and how many years to depreciate against. So that's very key. And I find that there's not many people that talk about this. It's like, I guess if you speak about real estate, you're not really kind of talking in line with taxes. But for me, because I do our taxes and we do real estate investing and we have a bunch of rental properties, that was like key in me understanding how all of this break down. So again, I'll be sure to include those IRS publications that kind of list out examples, as well as some other websites that I think are really helpful in understanding the breakdown of how taxes is how it ties in. And a lot of things, I have heard a lot of people say, well, with real estate, it's easier because you can control that bottom line number. Well, in understanding that means you also understand taxes, because you may not need to do an improvement this year. You may want to wait 2 years later, because if you're getting a lot of profit off of the tenants paying well over a mortgage cost, or say you don't have a mortgage, you bought out the property in cash, you are trying to offset that cost. So the fact of the matter is, I could have kept carpet in my previous property and just had a stainless steamer person come in and just steam the carpet, but due to it was being converted from a primary residence to a rental, I wanted to make sure to, do the hardwood floors, do the improvement, and control that bottom number to depreciate over time. Now, I also want to point out that in general, there are two things that I look for, or the things I consider when looking at new properties to purchase or properties that I know will need rehab work. One, I want to know, what does it take to make this property a livable property? What will it take to make it functional? The second thing I want to look at is, what are the rehab decisions that I need to make in order to bring equity and value to the property. Now, what I mean by that is, say you decide that you need a new roof, right? Well, a lot of time appraisers will add the value that you spent back towards the property value, because you've raised that property value by adding on a roof. So again, when I see properties, I'm really looking at, what's the estimated work that needs to be done to make it functional? Are there any major improvements that can go beyond that to depreciate that cost over years? Those are all the decisions that go into it. But, rehab work is pretty simple, especially if you have a good team, or you have a team of people that you trust that can go in there, do the job, and not take all day. Because the other thing with doing a rehab is you need to account for how long your contractors are going to take, because if they take 6 months to get the job done, well, then that property can't be rented out because you're waiting for those updates to be made. So it's about having a good trusted team, or people that you trust that can go in there and get the job done to make it functional and ready to be lived in, or at least posted to be sold to get tenants to move in. So that's pretty much it. Everything, I'll put in some helpful tips and some additional information in the description of this video. If you have any questions at all, be sure to leave a comment, because I do get back to my subscribers and people who are watching the videos. I do answer. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please follow my YouTube channel at HandfordHacks. Thanks for watching. As a reminder, make sure that you click the bell icon beside the word subscribe so that you can stay in the know whenever a new video is released.